What's up, you guys? This is Jedi Mind Trick here with another review. This time it's Hunter Hunter 122. Today's episode was very interesting. We got a lot of progression in the story, um, and a lot of I would say a lot of foreshadowing, in my opinion. Now we start off this episode with basically the review of last episode where Knuckles is saying that he doesn't think Yuppie's a bad person because he basically not overlooked, but he basically spared them because he noticed that their will to win. And then we go to Gon, who still has them. Who he still has Pito and Poof shook. Well, at least Pito shook. Like Pito is just is so shook. Like she's looking Gon's like Gon looks like he's just like killed a few niggas. Like he just killed like a couple niggas in jail, and he's just like, who my next victim? That's how he looks. Like he's just so focused on Pito, and like, and Pito is trying to give hints to Poof as to where the king has gone, and the message is relayed to Poof, and Poof is like, okay, I understand, and Gon notices, and Gon doesn't notice it, so he eases up a little bit, and Pito notices that. Then we see Poof like split his body up. Like he only could use 1/7 of his body to remain his full size. And he says the other 6/7 are going to go towards the king, which are those little bumblebee looking things. So while he's doing that, one of the bumblebees runs into Yuppie, and he notices that Yuppie has changed as well as the way Yuppie's appearance has changed, and Yuppie's way of acting and thinking has changed. As same as Pito. Pito's way of thinking has changed and all this stuff, as we noticed in the last few episodes where Gon has a shook. Now we see Yuppie. Yuppie. Well, Poof doubts Yuppie, and he asks him several questions and stuff like that. And he says we have to hurry to the king just to get it off, and like just to brush it off a little bit so that they can focus on the king. You know what I'm saying? And Poof is like, okay, he notices something's up with Yuppie's attitude as well, and Poof's the only one who hasn't really changed a bit. Like he's still intent on killing the intruders and protecting the king, no matter what the cost and all of this other stuff, which the other two are too, but they're not really intent on killing, as far as we know. So then we go to Netero, my man's old man Netero, with the king, and they arrive at this deserted land, this deserted area where they used to test military weapons and stuff like that. And the king, and this is the first time this is the second time we've seen the king show some type of human characteristics or human traits, basically as like being a compassionate human. First we saw it with Kamoji, with the girl. He has some type of compassion for her, and now he's telling Neto, though, he's like, we don't have to fight, you don't have to die. He said, I noticed there's some humans that are worth keeping alive. He says, I want to break down he said, I want to create equality and stuff like that. So that lets us know that he's a benevolent king. And my thoughts on this is like, I think he's gonna actually like, I think he's gonna live, just because of the simple fact, I think he's gonna have to go up against Gon or someone, and they're gonna like realize that he's actually a good guy, and like he's not gonna try to like take over the world basically, but he's gonna, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's weird. I don't think he's gonna die though. Like, I don't think they're gonna kill him. It just doesn't seem right. Like, he's too good of a human. Like, well, not a human being. He's too good of a person. Like, you know what I mean, to kill. But and then we see but Netero notices that he can't just talk with the guy, because then his resolve will waver, and then it'll be a waste of his training and preparations for the fight, I guess. Or no, well, it'll be like him letting him go and stuff like that. So he notices he has a job to do, and he strikes first with the he's obviously a conjurer. He uses his nin, and he strikes first. And his first attack doesn't it hits direct, is a direct hit, but it does no damage to the king whatsoever. And the king just proceeds to sit down and proceeds to try to persuade Netero to talk to him and stuff like that. And then Netero attacks again, and then the king says, "Are you really that?" He says, "Are you really?" What does he say? He says, "Are you really?" I think he says, "Are you really ready to die?" And then he sits down again, and he's trying to convince him again to talk. And then the king says something. He says, "The only way you're gonna like persuade me is with words." And then Netero notices. He's like, "Ah, I got something that he noticed. He wants to know." He's like, "Don't you want to know your name?" And the king obviously wants to know his name because he's asked Poof, Yuppie, and Pito what his name was, and they never knew. So of course he's going to go into action, and that's where this episode ends off at. Man, it's just Netero and the king ready to brawl out, all out, gloves off. You know what I'm saying? Like they're ready to go at it. So I give this episode, man, I got to give it a 7 out of 10. I like the progression and all that. Not so much of the whole Yuppie and Poof thing. It was all right, but I give it a 7 out of 10. Comment what you guys think, and like and subscribe to this video, and I'll see you guys soon.